You know, at a time when a lot of communities haven't really been growing and moving, I see Quincy as experiencing a great renaissance with its diversity and investment into its future that really shows very positively for the future in the city of Quincy.
Well, I'm going to go back to your yellow legal pad for a second and ask two questions. The first one is, what hasn't worked? You're very proud of the things that you talked about, but what did you think you were going to do that just didn't happen or couldn't happen? Or you tried and it was...
I don't know. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's the next question.
I really think that what hasn't worked? What haven't we been able to accomplish that we wanted to? Is that or what?
Did you try? What initiative did you try that just was not meant to be, or you found a big mistake, or I went down the wrong road on that one and had to turn around? That may not be in your character. But
no,
I'm asking.
No, it is. I mean, it's not that it isn't. It's I've been so fixated on things that are working and moving forward. I'm trying to think of most of the important initiatives, and I'm trying to think of an initiative that just well, Chief Financial Officer was one that we didn't get through. We withdrew. I think that would be a good thing for the city moving forward. I don't think the city has suffered necessarily in that area, but that was one that I thought was something that would be good for the city more in years to come. So I think that's something that any city our size is a position. So we weren't able to really get that going too well. Boy, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know. Help me out, maybe. Remind me.
No, I'm not going to.
No, I don't mean to be. I'm trying to think of what.
Well, let's go back to the yellow legal pad.
Yeah, sure.
You've said many times publicly and here that you're very proud of what you have accomplished. Yeah. What's on the yellow legal pad for the next 2 years that isn't? Right. That isn't an ongoing, is there a vision? You've talked about accomplishment.
Well, let me say this. I can't go back to your first question. Okay. I was really disappointed in the teachers' strike. That should have came right up to mind immediately. I mean, even, it's not just the teachers, really. It wasn't the teachers' strike so much as the city workers, generally speaking. I think the healthcare issue is an issue that I'm not so sure it wasn't that I couldn't get it done. It was the result was had. I wasn't really thrilled with the process in which it unfolded, I guess is what I would say.
Does that include your own actions within that?
Well, it would have to. I was a part of it, but I have to say that it was important. I mean, it's an important issue, and it's one that I've been approached by from mayors. If I go to a mayor's meeting or a statewide meeting, people coming right up to me, way to go, they're not willing to take on the battle, way to go, way to stand up to that, and everything. I'm saying, yeah, good from where you're sitting, maybe, but I truly do believe this as well, that it was an issue worth standing up for, because it's an issue that really goes back to the financial well-being of the city in the future. And I thought that my hands were a little handcuffed in terms of how I could deal with it in relation to the teachers, because my brother was a teacher. And I know that sounds more like an excuse, but it isn't. It's just the reality of it. I mean, state law prevents you from being involved in the specific negotiations, and I couldn't. I thought, having worked on the task force statewide, presenting alternatives, although the timing was just unfortunate that this new state law didn't come in time for those negotiations, utilizing that potential law as a way to say, hey, listen, if we get into the GIC, the group health insurance at the state, we'll revert back to the 90%, and we'll that's an option for savings that I'm not just saying, you have to give. I'm saying we're working on different options that are protect your health care. Everybody should have health care, free health care. I mean, isn't that the goal? I mean, it's such an important area. So that would be one area that was very trying, and in retrospect, I wish could have been avoided. I'm not sure how I could have done it differently, but there's always ways you can do things better upon reflection.
In that same vein, to follow up on what Shazi said, one of the main reasons that Tom Koch says that he's running against you is what he perceives as your style. And he's talked about it. He's talking about your personality and how it can be demanding and overwhelming. And you take, for instance, the beginning here, 20 minutes for the opening statements. Shazi's question on...
I asked permission first.
You did, and you said 5 to 10. But that's the whole thing that I'm getting at. There are... And it gains traction with people with the way Koch talks about it, that there is an imperial sense in the mayor's office that you don't suffer opposition, that you don't listen to disconsonant tones within your administration, that everybody is in lockstep. And then hearing your response to Shazi, which is what hasn't worked right, and you really struggled, where I think a lot of people, whether rightly or wrongly, could point out a bunch of things. Is there anything to this that you can look at and say, you know what, you're right, I need to listen more, or I don't listen enough, or that's my personality and that's how we get things going? What's the reality here?
Well, I think I said to somebody who was interviewing me, sometimes your best asset is sometimes is something that isn't quite good in certain circumstances as well. So I don't agree with what you stated in terms of what Mr. Koch is suggesting out there. Quite the contrary. I try to absorb everything. In fact, I question people so that I can determine whether or not their opinions or their, whatever they're suggesting holds water. That's how I come to my decisions. I listen very, very carefully to what everyone says, and I take it all in. Believe me, I do, and I think it over and over and over ad nauseum until I come to what I believe is the best decision. But that's the way I make my mind up. That's how, being a mayor is really having to make decisions and judgments. And I listen to everyone, and I do take those opinions into consideration.